Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Okay, got an update for you in the Reckless Ben saga. He was in court. We have the video of it. Now, before I play you the video of this and tell you what happened, I got to give you the backstory and also an update for you since the last time we talked about this case. So this all centers around a dispute over this reportedly high-valued Star Wars Lego collection. There was a guy named Bryan Mansell, says he placed this Lego collection that was reportedly originally valued at over $200,000, although there was reporting maybe it's worth less than that, on consignment at a Bricks Minifigs store in Salem, Oregon back in 2023. Apparently, the original owner of this store would sell the sets, keep a commission, and then you go. But Bricks Minifigs, corporate, allegedly said to do this, to enter into this agreement with Mansell, this violated their franchise rules. 2024, the store closed, and the details about that, by the way, are even in dispute. That's a side question. But Mansell reportedly asked for either the remaining parts of the collection that hadn't been sold back to come back to him or $80,000. Now, the new store managers, reportedly Joshua Johnson and Brandon Best, allegedly said the Lego sets weren't there. And according to the Salem Business Journal, 1 year after entering into this consignment agreement with the prior owner, Mansell reportedly sent a termination notice to Johnson saying he hadn't been paid that month's earnings from sales and that he hadn't been allowed to come inspect the inventory. Eventually, they seemed to offer Mansell recovered sets worth $2,000 to $5,000, which Mansell reportedly rejects. So Mansell and his family allegedly don't get the Legos, they don't get the money. And according to Salt Lake Tribune, court records allege that for months, Mansell filed police reports, posted negative reviews, allegedly harassed the new managers. That's an allegation. This is when YouTuber Reckless Ben gets involved, okay? Gets involved. He's this investigative podcaster, and he reportedly travels to Utah. This is where Johnson and Best's LLC is headquartered and allegedly even goes to their homes. According to Oregon Live, court records appear to show that in March of 2026, Reckless Ben filed a small claims lawsuit against Johnson. Before we even get into that, when I interviewed Reckless Ben right here on Sidebar, this is his take on the legal situation, part of his take. When did the lawsuit get filed?
The first one, so we actually did one lawsuit and then they ended up closing down the whole store. So that ended up actually not working out. I think they closed down the store to avoid paying us. So we're like, well, if we can't sue the LLC, we shut down their store. We'll just sue them personally, you know? And so that lawsuit was filed probably a couple of days before I went to Oregon, I'd say.
So in other words, you couldn't even get this in front of a court, get this in front of a jury, litigate it. They closed the store, so there was nothing left to do. So you decided to go to Utah now to confront Mr. Johnson, right? And explain to us what happened there.
So it's such a long story. So first, before you can get a court case approved, you have to have what's called a good faith conversation. And I mean, every state's different, but in Marion County Court and Oregon, Utah, this is their procedure, I guess. So you have to show actual verifiable proof that you tried to have, like, resolve it outside of court first before it can get to a court. So I go to Josh's house to basically just talk this out with him, like, hey, like, we don't want to take you to court. Can we solve this like adults, you know? And he calls the cops on me and they let me go, of course, because I didn't do anything illegal. And then I'm like, okay, well, we had the good faith conversation. My court case gets approved. So next step, serve him papers. I can't serve him papers because I'm involved in the court case. But I just like literally put on my Instagram story. I was like, hey, anyone want to like help me with the video? And someone reached out. And I felt kind of bad sending her there by herself because she's like a girl going to this unhinged, like kind of lunatic guy who literally the previous day made a false, we think he made a false arrest saying we had heroin in our car because we got a 3-hour search on our car the day before. So this guy is unhinged. We found out later that it's good that I probably went with her because he said he was going to shoot the next person that like walks on his property or something. He told that to the police. So basically I was sitting in the car next to him. We got permission from the police. We said, hey, is it okay if we do this? We will sit in the street, like we pay taxes, so like we have a right to be on the street, like the sidewalk. And when he walks outside, then we'll serve him his paper. And the police are like, yeah, that's fine. As long as you're in the street, just don't go, you, Ben, specifically, don't go on his property. And so we're gonna wait for him to come outside, and then the girl was gonna serve him his court paper. But before we could do that, he called the cops on us. And at first the cops were like, okay, like, I see what you guys are doing here. Like, this is the legal way to do it. They leave. He calls the cops on us again. I think the cops just ended up leaving and coming back for probably like a 2 or 3 hour period until finally Josh has convinced the police that this is a fake lawsuit. And we see this in the unredacted body cam footage. He's like, I think he said it's a million, billion, quadrillion % fake is what he said in his exact quotes. And he's now fully convinced the police department this is a fake lawsuit. So the police officer actually goes and calls the court, verifies it's a real lawsuit, and then after that, that's when they arrest me, I guess.
I know this is a little bit of a 180, but I have to say it. Do you hate calling to make a doctor's appointment? I feel like everybody does. It's so easy to procrastinate, either because of having phone anxiety or having to play phone tag and wait for the callbacks. Look, our sponsor, ZocDoc, makes it so much easier. ZocDoc's free app and website lets you search and compare local in-network doctors, which means you can make an appointment without an anxiety-inducing phone call. They also have more than 150,000 providers within more than 200 specialties across all 50 states. And I love how simple it is. Just pick a doctor with ZocDoc. This is real patient reviews, detailed doctor profiles. It takes all that guesswork out, leaving you anxiety-free. Your health matters. Taking care of yourself shouldn't be complicated. So find and book the right doctor with ZocDoc. Head on over to ZocDoc.com/Jesse to get started. Check that appointment off your to-do list. That is ZocDoc.com/Jesse. Yeah, so then there's this body cam footage, and you see the various interactions with police and Ben and others who were reportedly connected to Ben, and there were allegations Ben was directing these people, and there was impersonation allegations just to get closer to the homes, to get contact with Johnson and Best, and this all leads to Ben's arrest.
How's it going? I'm Officer Hawkins, American Fork Police Department. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. What's your name? Are you Ben? Okay, go ahead and lower this window for me, would you? What's your last name, Ben?
Schneider.
Schneider. Okay. What are we doing, boys?
We're just going for a drive. I actually live in the area.
Okay. I'll ask again, because I wasn't born yesterday. Why are we doing it? Why are we harassing people? Okay. Go ahead and give me your ID. You have your ID on you or no? Okay. Alright. So.
Do you want to follow us to my house? My house is literally down the street to the right.
So, well, here's the thing, okay? So you were all involved yesterday in an issue at 274 Stores Avenue, right? Well, you were trespassed from the residence yesterday, correct?
Yeah, but we were on the residence.
I know. You sent someone else.
We didn't send him.
Who sent him then?
I don't know. We did tell we found out what church he lives in. We did say, we told the bishop that one of the church that was just telling us like big crime, we still want to be part of the church. And I think they said they might like send someone to like go to the church.
These are the other two that were trespassed yesterday, though. Why don't you call him, tell him to come over to the car, because he's not.
We don't have his number.
How did he call you guys then?
He didn't call us.
Really, guys? We're gonna play stupid? I know he called you guys. I watched him try to get in your car.
I don't have his number at all.
Okay.
But is there a gun for
Well, he's saying you sent him. So it's not a church member going up and asking.
They told the church about it, and if they want to, like, they seem like they wanted to, like,
32, go ahead.
they seem like they wanted to, like,
Go for it. 16's pulling up to me now. Okay, listen. Okay, if we want to play stupid, we can play stupid. I'm not. Okay, so I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. He was at somebody's house
yeah.
harassing that individual. He got trespassed today. Okay, I watch him try to get in your guys' car, and then he bails. Listen to what I'm saying though. Then he said, Ben is the one that sent me to, yeah.
So Schneider was reportedly arrested twice by American Fork police, charged with misdemeanors of stalking and targeted residential picketing. And then there was a separate case that he was charged with disorderly conduct and criminal trespass in connection with an incident back on December 10th, 2025. This is where he allegedly went to a Bricks Minifigs corporate office. You go to May. Ben releases a video series about this complicated case. Goes viral, millions of views about this, accused corporate of stealing, claim that police are protecting them. Bricks and Minifigs, they end up filing a lawsuit against Reckless Ben, Mr. Mansell, and others. You're talking 13 causes of action. RICO, so this is racketeering, defamation, injurious falsehood, civil conspiracy, stalking, nuisance, trespass, intentional infliction of emotional distress. There are a lot there. And corporate claims that Ben and Mansell, they allegedly coordinated this massive multi-platform media campaign that was aimed at not finding the truth, but was really an extortion plot to extort money and damage the company's brand and reputation. That this was allegedly done, a very lucrative commercial prank stunt to get clicks, get all this money on GoFundMe, boost Patreon subscribers, and they claim that this wasn't investigative journalism, but across the line. And they allege that there were fake raffle materials and fake Guinness World Records style awards and disguises and posting signs and all this. They said it was basically like harassment. And they basically said this led to online harassment and review bombing and death threats, and that they're seeking all this money in damages. Those are the allegations. They also reportedly got a win in court, a temporary restraining order, a TRO, saying that the plaintiffs are likely to win on the merits of their case. And the court order essentially prevented Ben and Mansell from contacting, harassing, stalking, or intimidating any of the plaintiffs, their corporate employees or store owners, stalking, trespassing, or targeted picketing anywhere near the private residences or storefronts belonging to the plaintiffs, publishing, distributing, or broadcasting false, defamatory, or disparaging images or statements regarding the business or its affiliates. That, and by the way, that's going to affect the YouTube portion of this, the videos, soliciting or recruiting Bricks and Minifigs employees, franchisees, or contractors to work as undercover agents, creating, orchestrating, or participating in staged confrontations or deceptive activities. You get the idea. Now, Reckless Ben then goes on camera and says, he makes a video of this and says, look, while we're all waiting for the next part of his video series, he claims legally he can't release it.
Episode 3 is finally finished after crazy all-nighters and basically destroying my health. But I can't post it or I will go to jail. And not only that, I will also immediately lose my lawsuit of $300,000, and the GoFundMe we made for Bryan will go straight to this mystery company that I am no longer allowed to talk about.
But now we have an update. This is new. According to KSL.com, Bricks and Minifigs and Reckless Ben agreed to resolve their dispute through mediation, not a public lawsuit. This is a different dispute resolution method. It's private. And this will apparently reverse the court's decision preventing Ben from releasing his next video, effectively cancels an upcoming court hearing where both sides were going to argue about this TRO. So Ben agrees, in essence, that neither he nor anyone working with him or affiliated with him would make any threats against Bricks and Minifigs or the owners, or destroy property, or stalk or trespass, or publish any personal contact information about the plaintiffs, or even go within 100 yards of the Bricks and Minifigs offices. Okay, all of that happens. And now this brings us to what happened today in Utah court. the criminal case against Ben Schneider, Reckless Ben. And there was reporting about whether or not he was going to represent himself in this. So look, we weren't sure what to expect. We go this hearing live. Very, very short. As you'll see, this is a virtual hearing. Take a look at what happened.
All right, is it Mr. Williams online?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Mr. Williams?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, sir.
Okay, and we've got Mr. Schneider online.
I believe he is here. Yes.
I'm here, yes.
Okay, we're here on case 261 ending 376, scheduled for a pretrial this morning. Mr. Williams, what's anticipated?
Your Honor, I'm asking the court to give us another pretrial conference date. Mr. Delacino and I entered our appearance on June 24th, and I know that the city has responded to our requests for discovery, and I know that we have some. Mr. Delacino and I were in a federal jury trial all last week in St. George, and so we're just sort of getting caught up on what's been provided right now. So if the court could give us a new date, that would give us a chance to go through what the city's provided.
Just in the normal course then, Mr. Williams?
I have probably, Your Honor, what is the next available date? Maybe
About a
30
month
days,
out.
about a month out.
Where does Mr. Schneider live?
California, Los Angeles.
Okay. So I'm assuming you need a WebEx.
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, if the court could consider September 1st, will these always be on Tuesdays? Or Mondays, I apologize.
Monday or Tuesday is fine.
Monday or Tuesday. Could, if the court has availability on September 1st, and Ben, does that work with you?
Yes.
3 days.
Yeah, that doesn't work for us.
September, let me go past Labor Day. Oh, September 15th, would that work?
September 15th, 11 o'clock Utah time.
We need things.
Mr. Schneider, did you do fingerprints?
Oh no, I have to get those done still.
Yeah, Mr. Williams, can you work with them and get those submitted?
I will, Your Honor. We'll make sure that's taken care of.
Okay, anything else, gentlemen?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So there you go. You heard from Ben. He was on this virtual hearing. His next pretrial hearing has been rescheduled to September 15th, 2026 at 11 a.m. Utah time. Nothing groundbreaking here. Very common for rescheduling of hearings to happen. So we don't have anything substantive, no substantive updates other than he needs to do those fingerprints. Utah law appears to lay out how you can obtain fingerprints of a criminal defendant who hasn't been booked into jail on charges. But there you go. And as this case progresses, I go back to my conversation with Reckless Ben here on Sidebar. Listen to this. Are you currently facing criminal charges?
Oh, a bunch, yeah.
So
Yeah,
what are you facing?
The first one is stalking when we tried to serve court papers. The second one is stalking when I made the GoFundMe. They couldn't get me for stealing the Legos because obviously they stormed my house. There was no Legos. They tried to get me.
You were accused of that at one point. You were accused of you being the one to steal the Legos?
Yeah. And
The
so
Lego, sorry. I found out that it's not Legos, it's Lego, that's the plural. I found that out.
Yeah, I just found that out too, like 2-3
yeah, I
days
always
ago.
thought it was
I
Legos.
was calling it Legos the whole time also.
Yeah, but you were accused of that at one point?
So they got a search warrant to search my house for stolen Legos. Obviously, they search the house, find no Legos, and then they just arrest everyone inside, which all the people that were inside, they didn't have probable cause to arrest them. They're just in a house. Like, if you search a house, that doesn't give you probable cause to arrest everyone in the house, you know? Maybe you could say I deserved it because I created this GoFundMe. I thought the GoFundMe was legitimate, you know, like, this guy got his Legos stolen, let's just get the money back. But I guess in the state of Utah, they don't like it when you reimburse stuff, like money for someone who got their stuff stolen. And so I'm doing criminal charges for the GoFundMe. And then I have, so that's in American Fork, but I'm also getting charged in Provo for extortion. So after I basically just talked to the CEO, like, hey, can we like please have the Legos back? You know, I was pretty nice to him. And then he calls the police department and says that, I swear to God, it's coming out in the video in like 4 or 5 days. He calls the police department and says, Ben said, if you don't give the Legos back right now, I'm going to burn down the entire building and I'm going to shoot everyone inside. And I'm like, I literally gave the police department the entire raw footage of our entire interaction. That there's nothing like that in there, and they're still charging me for that. And that one's a felony. It's a Class B felony they're getting me for. So I don't know what's going on. I guess we'll find out in court. That's gonna be exciting, but yeah.
By the way, as we're talking about all this, do you regret jumping in on this? I mean,
No, this has been awesome.
Repercussions. It's awesome.
Yeah,
You said it's awesome?
Yeah, my whole career has been basically trying to put myself in like super hard situations, then figuring a way to solve it, and like okay, we have this huge problem. How are we going to solve it? And now I feel like I got a pretty big problem, right? Like this company's using one of the best law firms in the entire world to try and destroy me from putting out this documentary about them. How do I get out of this problem? It's a huge problem, and I don't know. I can come up with creative ways to get out of it, I guess. So, it's like peak, like what I live for. You know, I love solving problems. I love doing hard things, and this is exactly what I live for.
Now, I got to call something out too that I thought was interesting. This is a misdemeanor case. It has gotten a lot of attention, a lot of thoughts, a lot of commentary on Reckless Ben and what he purportedly was trying to do, who's in the right, who's in the wrong. Law enforcement even got involved in this in terms of saying, look, we know that people have feelings about this. We're just trying to follow the law. But KSL spoke with Steve Burton, who is a Utah attorney. He's also the director of the Utah Defense Attorney Association. And he brought up some interesting points to consider in the criminal case that I just want to call out. So he basically made, again, some interesting points about how under current Utah law enforcement, they're able to redact portions of body cam footage. So while people may think something nefarious is going on, there are perhaps legal exceptions to what can be publicly released. Now, maybe, and this is something that was talked about in the article, perhaps there needs to be a change in the law. I don't know. He also questioned whether the stalking charge is appropriate, that he and his organization tried to challenge it, to change it to mean someone has to be in fear for their physical safety, not just that it causes emotional distress. So he basically made the argument that that statute is broad, as well as disorderly conduct and residential picketing. He even questioned the validity of one of those initial traffic stops that saw Ben talk to the cops. Is it possible those conversations or evidence that was obtained from that stop could be thrown out? I don't know. Something to look out for. But again, as this case progresses, we're going to be on top of it here on Sidebar, and just some things to think about. That's all we have for you right now. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you should get your podcasts. You can also check us out on NBC's Peacock as well. If you want to follow me, X, Instagram, my News Nation show, Jesse Weber Live, Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern. See you next time, everybody.